Today I want to speak to you about the power of prayer. I am so excited about this particular message today because, it was at this very spot that I learned the power of prayer. You see, when I was a new believer, I would come to this spot, this old tree right here by a lake, and I would pray and I would meet with God. I'd come with some friends and we would spread out to different places, and I often came to this very spot, and it was here that I learned the power of prayer. It was here that I began to dream of going to the nations of the world. I've been to over 80 countries since that day 55 years ago when I started coming to this spot to seek the face of God. And God worked in my life. And Paul wrote in Ephesians chapter 3, and Paul said this. He said to the church in Ephesus, he said that he wanted them to know the love of God, and he prayed for them that they would know how great God is, that he is able to do exceedingly, abundantly, above all that we could ask or think. You see, we can ask God for great things, but he's able to do far beyond anything that you could ask or I could ask or even think and imagine in our hearts and minds. When I came here 55 years ago and I prayed that one day God would let me bring the gospel to the nations of the world. And that was a big dream. It was far beyond anything that I thought could ever really happen. I was just a young person, didn't have any money, didn't have much to give God, but I gave him what I had, and I would come here and pray and seek him, and he would burn that dream into my heart. Here I am 55 years later. And God has done more than I could have dreamed or imagined or even thought about. Because you see, I've gone into the middle of a revolution in Romania, preached a historic stadium crusade in the country. I went to Siberia, Ukraine, all over Eastern Europe and the communist countries and preached the gospel in stadiums and historic meetings. And God moved in such a mighty way during those days. Went into Africa, into Burundi, in the middle of a war zone in Burundi where warring factions, and I saw them come together and kneel and pray as I preached the gospel in a stadium there. What am I saying? I'm saying this: God did exceedingly abundantly above all that I could ask or even think of asking. He did great things. That's the power of prayer. Seek his face. The church, you need to seek God. I need to seek God. We need to see God send revival in this generation. So let's pray and see his power released among the people.